10 days ago, the nation learned of the deaths of 4 U.S. Army Green Berets in the country of Niger in Africa. The deaths came as a shock to many senators on Capitol Hill, some even saying that they didn't even know there were any troops on the continent at all. Manila Chan has been following this and joins us tonight. Manila?
You know, and I think the general reaction across the country was surprise, and clearly some of those on the Hill were caught as off guard as the general consensus of the American public. Now, the fact that senators like Lindsey Graham, who sit on the Armed Services Committee, which oversees all areas of national defense, including the DoD, didn't know about special ops presence in Niger is quite concerning. The fact that it took the deaths of these 4 men to raise the questions, what are we doing in Niger and where else in Africa are we? It raises questions about transparency of the DoD relative to their relationship with Congress. And in terms of Africa, the U.S. has presence in nearly 20 countries, mostly across the central swath of nations, places like Morocco, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, South Sudan, Kenya, Djibouti, which is also the home to AFRICOM. And yesterday, according to General Joe Dunford, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the U.S. troops are on the ground as part of an international effort to defeat terrorism.
Our soldiers are operating in Nigeria to build the capacity of local forces to defeat violent extremism in West Africa. Their presence is part of a global strategy. As we've seen many times, groups like ISIS and al-Qaeda pose a threat to the United States, the American people, and our allies. They're a global threat enabled by the flow of foreign fighters, resources, and their narrative, and they seek to operate where they can exploit weaknesses in local government and local security forces. If you think of those enablers as connective tissue between groups across the globe, our strategy is to cut that tissue while enabling local security forces to deal with the challenges within their countries and region.
And today, the White House had this to say about Niger.
As always, the safety and security of our military is a top priority. In terms of specifics, we're going to wait until that investigation is completed. As General Dunford said yesterday, we're going to make sure that we get full and adequate answers for not just the American people, but for the families of those that were lost. And we're going to continue to do that. The administration fully supports the Department of Defense in that process.
And now, Ed, we did receive confirmation today that the Green Berets killed in action earlier this month were there to collect intel on the ground when their team was ambushed. Those 4 men were part of a team of 12 accompanying an unknown number of local forces who also suffered casualties. Details pertaining to the fallen soldiers are slowly being made available from the Pentagon, as you know.
They certainly are. Thank you, Manila. Appreciate it.